This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Next on the 5 o'clock report.
You're teaching our children all types of crazy stuff.
One unelected district judge can now issue a nationwide injunction that ties the hands of the President of the United States.
I'm going to have to find a new place to get prescriptions.
It is incredible to see a man who is 100 years old make the approach and throw a ball.
Now, let's go to the newsroom.
Good afternoon and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Family Life News anchor Sarah Harnish. It is 86 degrees at our studios in Bath, New York, the warmest day of the year so far.
Waiting to get my boat in the water. It's across the road there. I got a 33-foot boat. I want to get sailing. And I haven't out there yet.
It's really nice, yeah, finally.
87 degrees in Rochester, New York. We haven't seen that number since September 15th, 2024. Summer temperatures have arrived. With all the rain this spring, people say they've had to delay their work outside.
Just yard work.
Definitely lawn work. My grass was overgrown.
The backyard is still a swamp. I don't think it'll dry out until August, so the rider wants a sink.
7 counties in western New York are under air quality alerts until 11 tonight, from Niagara Falls to Jamestown, in part because of the Canadian wildfires. Detroit under the same alerts.
I couldn't come outside. I couldn't breathe with it. I had bad asthma.
Towns in those counties are over the air quality index alert of 100, making it harder to breathe. We'll break it down in a few minutes. The man allegedly responsible for burning 15 people at a pro-Israel rally in Colorado may see his family, his wife, and 5 kids deported back to Egypt. They were arrested yesterday. HHS Secretary Kristi Noem.
Mohammed's despicable actions will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But we're also investigating to what extent his family knew about this horrific attack. If they had any knowledge of it or if they provided support to it, justice will be served.
Mohammed Solomon was in the U.S. after overstaying his visa. President Trump says he spoke by phone today with Russian President Vladimir Putin. CBS reporter Linda Kenyon.
The president said the call lasted approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes. Trump says the two discussed Ukraine's recent attack on what he called Russia's docked airplanes, as well as other attacks by both sides. The president characterized the call as, quote, a good conversation, but not a conversation that will lead to immediate peace.
Chicago is at the epicenter of a drag queen story time protest.
Weirdos, the biggest weirdos!
The library system there refusing to cancel the event in the name of inclusion. On Tuesday, protesters showed up, and then LGBTQ plus protesters showed up to counter the protesters.
Grown men dancing for kids. Why are you doing it in a public library with our public dollars? You're not even asking the community, are they okay with it? The community didn't even know what was going on. You're teaching our children all types of crazy stuff.
The library says it will continue its programming for weeks for Pride Month. Agro-terrorism. 2 Chinese citizens are facing federal charges for allegedly smuggling a fungus into the U.S. that can cause a disease in rice and wheat. Fox's Rich Edson.
The FBI says this is a direct threat to national security. Director Kash Patel tells Fox News, quote, this case is a sobering reminder that the Chinese Communist Party continues to deploy operatives and researchers to infiltrate our institutions and target our food supply, an act that could cripple our economy and endanger American lives.
Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt warns China is up to no good, telling Fox News,
we are in a great powers competition with communist China, and the 21st century will be defined by who wins this. And we have to understand they're willing to do anything to win.
Judicial warfare. How much power should a single federal judge have? This after President Trump's executive orders have been stopped with injunctions dozens of times since he took office in January.
In less than 5 months, Trump has been hit with 39 nationwide injunctions. That is more than double what Presidents George W. Bush and Obama had in their combined 8-year terms.
The issue went before the U.S. Senate on Tuesday. Senator Ted Cruz.
One unelected district judge can now issue a nationwide injunction that ties the hands of the President of the United States for all 330 million Americans. That's not law. That's judicial tyranny.
Former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich was on Fox News today.
If the Supreme Court doesn't get him under control, the Congress and the President are going to have to abolish a number of judges and get their attention.
Gingrich says there is a bill in the works that would limit the impact of federal judges' rulings.
There's also a bill which would eliminate nationwide injunctions. It would say a district judge can only issue an injunction in their district. But what's currently going on is clearly a judicial tyranny and basically an effort to take over the presidency by individual left-wing judges.
And more seniors than ever before are using marijuana. Pot use among those 65 and up has doubled since 2021.
People think wrongly it's just as bad for you as cigarettes. It actually is in terms of its damage to the heart and lungs.
Fox News medical correspondent Dr. Mark Siegel says marijuana increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, dementia, and even cancer.
People are going to the ER with psychosis. They're having car accidents. We are studying Colorado ever since it was legalized there, and the results are not pretty.
7% of senior citizens are using marijuana on a regular basis. Women are using it more than men. 39 states permit pot for medicinal or recreational purposes. Still to come on the 5 o'clock report, Rite Aid shuts its doors, a TikTok ban in the works for Pennsylvania state employees, and cyber school funding at stake. Those stories after weather with Ken McKinley.
We'll have clear skies and quiet conditions overnight tonight. Temperatures staying warm up in the 60s overnight. Tomorrow, clouds will advance into the area from the north and from the west. That will mean eventually some showers and some thunder showers in many areas tomorrow. The temperatures in most areas will be a bit cooler tomorrow, but still in the 70s in many New York areas. In fact, over the southern tier, reaching the 80s. And in Pennsylvania, about the same as today, as the sun will be out for at least the first half of the day there. Shower activity will wind down tomorrow night, but another round of showers and thunder showers is likely for Friday, closing out the week with temperatures then mostly in the 70s.
Thank you, Ken. Checking the stories making news where you live across New York and Pennsylvania. Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Erie, Wyoming, Genesee, Orleans, and Niagara counties under air quality alerts until 11 o'clock tonight, in part because of those Canadian wildfires.
Well, it's a combination of some of that upper level smoke that we have from the Canadian wildfires, as well as the ozone that's kind of trapped within the heat dome that's over top of Western New York right now.
WBEN meteorologist Andy Parker says the smoke is not here to stay.
This will be the last of the real hot ones. Then we're going to pull back into the 70s. There's a cold front that's going to sweep all of this out. So any of that smoke or ozone that's in the air today will be pushed off towards the East Coast, and we'll have a much more cooler and cleaner air mass once Mother Nature rinses us out during the day on Thursday.
It is the end of an era. 68 Rite Aid stores are closing in New York effective today. 172 stores, nearly half the closures in the nation, will happen in the state of Pennsylvania, but not all of them this week. It's got people living near the stores nostalgic and sad.
Mostly I come here for prescriptions, so yeah, I'm going to have to find a new place to get prescriptions now.
It's going to be very serious complications because I need to get prescriptions filled here. I have a hard time walking around, so it's very convenient for me to come right across the street from where I live.
The chain filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last month. A TikTok ban on Pennsylvania state government devices has just passed the state Senate. Family Life's Mark Webster has more.
Yeah, it cleared the Senate today, and if it also passes the House, the bill would bring the Commonwealth in line with more than 39 states. Sponsor Kristen Phillips Hill says it's needed to protect the Keystone State from cyber attacks because of security issues with the app's parent company, ByteDance. The bill would require state employees to follow federal guidelines on the use of TikTok on government networks and devices. Mark Webster, Family Life News.
A serious threat to school choice is moving through the Pennsylvania state legislature. House Bill 1500 would slash funding for cyber charter schools by 40%. School choice advocates say this would jeopardize the education of over 60,000 students. New York's new bell-to-bell cell phone ban at school takes effect statewide in September. It's designed to promote a distraction-free learning environment, but how it will be implemented is still a matter of much debate.
Students don't want to give up the ability to have that contact. There's some convenience pieces of having a cell phone, and even some academic purposes that students have shared with us, but also there's a little bit of that safety connection, safety blanket feeling, right?
Elmira Heights Superintendent Mike Gill spoke with WENY-TV. New York is the fourth state in the country to implement an outright ban on cell phone use at school statewide. And to call Ben Bream the senior member of his Palmyra, Pennsylvania bowling team is putting it mildly. Happy birthday to you. He His teammates cheering him on as he marked his 100th birthday at, where else? The bowling alley. Ben tells WPMT.
It's amazing. It's really special. I mean, I don't care too much what I get as a bowling score, but I like to be with friends. It's great to bowl with these people. I love bowling. Every Friday I look forward to it.
His league mates are, well, bowled over.
It is incredible to see a man or anyone who is 100 years old or even in their high 90s being able to go down the steps, make the approach, and throw a ball. And sometimes he does get strikes.
Ben Bream says he has no plans to hang up his bowling shoes anytime soon. Next at 5, pop-up parties. It could be happening to you. Our own Mark Webster has more. Let's listen in.
June is a month with a lot of celebrations, graduations, weddings, other happy events, but there are some other gatherings that raise some serious red flags for teens, parents, and society as a whole. Welcome back to another edition of Real Answers. It's a regular Wednesday feature during the Family Life Noon Report, where we discuss the issues that matter to families with licensed mental health counselor Christopher Anderson. Welcome back, Chris.
Great to be here, Mark.
Always great to have you here. One of the things we're focusing on today are what are popularly known as pop-up parties. Sounds nice enough, but apparently not so much.
Tell you what, like you said at the top of the segment here, Mark, this is the time of year to be on the lookout for them, especially if you're a landowner who's renting or families who've got graduating teens or, rising seniors, because this can be a real problem.
We've seen some scary videos, just mob scenes, scary stuff, and a little bit symptomatic, I think, of some deeper societal issues as well, right?
No, absolutely. And this is where somebody may rent somebody else's property through a third party. And there's these rental agencies now that you can list your own property through these agencies, and then they match you with renters. Well, what's becoming more and more of a problem is that people are renting these without any regard for limits on the number of people, and they have a party and then they charge admission. And a lot of times it's folks, again, they have very little regard for the property owners themselves or the facilities, because they know that in order to be part of these rental agencies, they have to carry insurance. And so they just assume in their own mind, hey, guess what? The insurance will cover any damage we do, so let's just throw a blowout party.
We've got another 5 minutes on pop-up parties with Mark and Chris online anytime at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or at familylife.org.
Hi, I'm Rob West with today's Faith and Finance Minute. Some decisions in life are harder than others. Things like where to live, what career to pursue, what church to attend, and how to invest. Thankfully, we don't have to make those big decisions every day. Life is mostly about the little choices we make each day of our lives, not the giant fork-in-the-road moments. The daily grind of making good decisions is far more common, and they all add up to big blessings or big mistakes. So today, before you swipe the card, click buy, or move that money, pause, ask God for wisdom, lean into His Spirit, let peace, not pressure, guide your decisions. Because when you invite God into the small decisions, you grow in faithfulness with every step. Discover the best Christian financial articles, podcasts, and videos by visiting our website, faithfi.com, or by downloading FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store.
Coming up on the 5 o'clock report, what does it take to catch a zebra on the loose? We got the story after one last look at weather.
This is meteorologist Ken McKinley with our Family Life forecast. After a very summer-like day today, we'll have clear skies and quiet conditions overnight tonight. Temperatures staying warm up in the 60s overnight. Tomorrow, clouds will advance into the area from the north and from the west. That will mean eventually some showers and some thunder showers in many areas tomorrow. The temperatures in most areas will be a bit cooler tomorrow, but still in the 70s in many New York areas. In fact, over the southern tier, reaching the 80s. And in Pennsylvania, about the same as today, as the sun will be out for at least the first half of the day there. Shower activity will wind down tomorrow night, but another round of showers and thunder showers is likely for Friday, closing out the week with temperatures then mostly in the 70s.
Okay, Ken, finally at 5, the search is on for an escaped zebra in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Well, I just can't believe that we were right next to a zebra.
The little roadside surprise captured on sidewalks and cul-de-sacs and in backyards all over town since Saturday. Danielle Petrie was one of the spectators.
What were you thinking when you saw the zebra on the road?
We're in the country and we see lots of animals, never a zebra. It was just cutting through yards and running.
The striped escapee then making a bold dash for the interstate where he was spotted by police. A portion of I-24 had to be shut down. Apparently, he was a family pet that got out. Police say several groups and canine units are searching, but the trail has gone cold. To get the word out, the city of Murfreesboro generated an AI image of the zebra in a squad car that went viral. But Petrie says nothing compares to the real thing.
To me, it was a really unique experience. I wasn't trying to catch footage of a running, scared zebra.
Day 4, and that zebra is still on a Tennessee vacation. And that's the world that we live in for Wednesday, the 4th of June. I'm Sarah Harnish, and this is the 5 o'clock report on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.